All right guys, welcome back to the channel. So in the last video, we were trying out that new clear coat, and I did talk a little bit about mills and what is left on the vehicle. So this industry has definitely taken a turn. Us being a Tesla certified shop, we deal with a lot of cars that have the automated feature for the doors to open by push button. But in order for that to happen, there has to be sensors on the inside of the doors. That way, if there's an object or anything close by that door, it won't bump into it when it opens. So we have to check the paint to see if anything has been painted more than the recommended amount, because then that sensor will not work and you'll have to strip the panel down. So this here is a thickness coating gauge. And in this video, I'm gonna show you guys how you use it. We're gonna spray some different coatings. We're gonna spray the clear, we're gonna check it and see how many mils we get. So this here is a brand new 2024 Infiniti. And what I wanna do is we're gonna be spraying this one today. We're gonna check the OEM paint, and then I have two new doors for this one with the factory E-coat on them. We'll go ahead and spray it, and then we'll check it, because they wanna have a certain amount of mils on these jobs. That way they're gonna hold up to our standard as well as PPG, being we are a guaranteed shop. So let's go ahead and get into this video. We'll do a little bit of testing out, and I'll show you guys what I mean about this mil gauge and some of the newer vehicles that we're working on here at Mitchell Collision. All right, so before we get started on the Infiniti, this here is the Tesla that I was letting you guys know about that has the gull wing doors on it. So this is the one that has the sensor on the inside of this here door, which will let it know if it's close by anything. That way it doesn't open up into that object or person or building or pole. So you gotta take that into consideration when you're repairing these jobs, because if there's too much paint, that sensor's not gonna work right and you guys are gonna have trouble with it. So this being an aluminum door, it has to be a digital sensor. It can't be the old school style mil gauge with the magnet that you pull, because this is aluminum and it won't stick to it. So let's get back over to the Infiniti and get started on that part of the job. All right, so we're back over here now with the Infiniti, and we have two OE factory doors that we're gonna be putting on this one. So let's go ahead and measure the factory paint and see where we're at so far with the factory paint. And then we'll measure these once we get the paint on them. So let's see what we have on the actual hood, and then we'll get back to this once we get some paint on it. All right, so let's test out the factory finish and see what it gives for that. So we have 5.26 mils on a factory Infiniti. So what we'll do is now we'll go ahead and get these parts prepped out. We'll put our paint on them, we'll let it dry, and we'll see what we have to see if it's close to the OE finish that we have here on this job. All right, so as we spray the car, I'm gonna go ahead and spray our metal spray out cards that we have here. I wanna get just the clear coat on this here card, that way I can check the actual mils of the clear. I'm not too worried about the sealer in the base coat, but I wanna know the exact mils on this clear coat that we're spraying here. So we're gonna spray a card for that, as well as the parts for the vehicle, and then check them out later. So let's get painting on the vehicle. All right, so this here's where this video takes a turn, and there's never a dull moment in the body shop. So if you guys noticed on that rear door, when I went to show it to you, it had a funky look to it. So I noticed when I was prepping out that rear door, it had a weird E-coat on it. It was shiny. And then when I got it in the booth and I had to clean something off the back, I used lacquer thinner and it wiped the E-coat off. So anybody in the business knows that lacquer thinner will not eat E-coat. So right away I thought I had an issue, and I went into the office, told my boss, hey, this door seems like there's something wrong with it. We'll go ahead and shoot it. We'll see what happens. And everything was good until I got the clear coat on it. Because what happens is it actually got warm when I hit that second coat of clear from the chemical, and it actually twisted the E-coat, and I'll show you guys what I mean when I get in the booth. So we went from doing a video on the mills to now stripping one off and redoing it. That way we can get this job finished up. All right, let's go in there and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. All right, so when I was clearing the rear door after the second coat of clear, I was looking at it and I noticed something funky in it. But look at this here metallic. You guys can see it looks like it's almost still wet, the base coat, but it's not. That was the factory E-coat on this door, because before I cleared this panel, I actually tacked off the base coat on both doors and they were dry. So this here is the same thing, but it had a different E-coat on it. This one looked like the normal E-coat that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. And this one here had something funky going on with it. So the only way that we're gonna be able to fix this is gonna be to strip this off of here. And you guys see right there, look at the reaction it did on that body line. I'll go get a light and show you guys a little better. All right, so this is what you deal with in the body shop. You guys know I'm gonna show you everything that goes on, and I was in the middle of making this video on the mills. We're still gonna continue on with that. But look at the way that that metallic is on this here panel. I mean, it just went haywire. So the only thing you can do when something like this happens is strip it off. And that is called thermoplasty, where something isn't fully hardened. And if you've ever done a paint job and forgot to harden your clear coat, you'll put your base coat on there thinking that you want to respray it. And then the minute you put your clear on, it'll react because it gets hot and it will eat into that paint job. And it's never going to be right until you strip it off. So we're not going to wait for another door. What I'll do here is strip this one down and redo it. That way we can keep moving on here with this job. So let's go ahead, get the stuff out. We'll check the mills and then we'll get into the process of this one as soon as this here dries up. All right, so you guys will see now what I'm talking about with this one here.
What the hell happened to this door?
This isn't my fault, boss.
The E-coat wrinkled up?
Yeah.
This is the type of work you do when I'm not around?
Yeah.
I don't know if this is gonna work going forward.
I hear you.
Repaint this before you leave.
You see that? Now I'm in trouble with the boss. All right, so that was funny. You guys seen that, and that's usually how the people in the body shop will act. But here they trust me, and I was telling them about this earlier in the day, and we rolled the dice on it. I didn't want to strip it down at that point because I thought we might have just had a part that might have freshly been done with the E-coat. I have seen those that, because this is such a new vehicle, sometimes that E-coat is still a little soft. That's why you'll see a lot of gouges when they put them in those cardboard boxes. So we took a gamble. It ended up reacting once the clear hit it, but nobody's in trouble here. They just want to move through the jobs, handle it, and that's what we're going to go ahead and do here. So now we've got to deal with something else, and that's going to be to strip this thing back down, take it all the way past the E-coat. That way we can finish this job up nicely. All right, so let's get back into this video, what we originally started it for. You remember this was 1.7. All right, let's take it off of there and let's go ahead and see how many mils we have on this here panel now. And you guys see we have 5. So with this starting out with the 1.7, that's gonna give us the 3 mils of clear that they want from PPG to have a guaranteed lifetime warranty. So you guys see there, we have our mil rating right there, and you guys see it, 4.9, almost 5. And that's what we needed to have to get a nice amount of clear left on the vehicle. All right, and let's check the other one we had with the sealer, base, and clear on it. You guys see we're at about 7.8. So with the sealer, the base, the clear, we have a good amount of mils on the vehicle, and this did have a 1.7 already on it before we started. So not bad with the full amount of coats on it. I wanted to do this just as a comparison, and then we'll check out the doors that we have as well. All right, so we baked the door a couple of times, that way we could get it to harden up, and that way we could strip it easier. Even though the bottom's soft, I want the top to be hard because that E-coat is thin and I'll be able to knock it off quickly. Now I wish they didn't have so many mils. All right, so we got it fully stripped now. Everything is ready to go as far as how we're gonna prep it out for the respray. So with this being bare metal, I'm just gonna go right into my epoxy sealer like I've showed you guys before on the peeling jobs. That way you don't have to etch, urethane, let it dry. You go right into your epoxy, and then you can go right into your base coat and clear coat. So the only good thing that I could say about this whole outcome of this job was on the inside, for some reason, it didn't lift. It did lift a little bit in some areas that are all covered up in there, so we're not gonna worry about stripping the inside, and I'm not even gonna have to respray the inside. So I'm pretty happy about that, and I think a lot to do with that was that the inside didn't look like the outside on this one. So I'm still not sure on what went on with this factory E-coated part, but I gotta get it handled, and that's what we're gonna go do now. All right, so that's it, all finished up. You guys see it looks good. It's right next to the other door here that we did earlier today. And we did this all in the same day, stripped it and repainted it, and we might even hang it on the vehicle. That way you guys can see it all finished up. So let's get back into what this video was originally supposed to be for, and that's checking the mils on the paint. All right, so you guys see the job came out nice and we finally got it done. So that should have been a quicker job, but in this business, you're gonna come across things like that, and sometimes it's not even your fault. So a lot of times those things will happen and you just have to be able to push through it. You guys seen, we baked it a couple times, got it out, stripped it down, repainted it, and now it's back on the car. Because I could have reached out to Nissan and have them got me a new door, but it's not worth the time that it's gonna take, because that could take a week or so. Some of these newer vehicles are very hard to get parts for. So we noticed that when we cleared the card with just a clear coat on it, we got to almost 5 mils, and we started out with the 1.7. So that's gonna let you know that we're in the 3 mil range with that 50/50 clear coat, and that's what PPG wants from their guarantee. So they'll have the lifetime guarantee through one of their certified shops. Whenever your car is fixed at one of those type of collision repair places, you're gonna have a lifetime warranty, not only with the shop most of the times, but PPG will back it. That way, they'll actually repay the techs to do the job over if there's a fail and you guys are a certified shop. So, as well as the one we did from E-coat all the way up through the sealer and clear, we got this one up to the recommended factory amount of mils as well. So you guys seen those numbers, and I hope you guys got something out of this one. So it's definitely a good tool to have in the shop. And we do have a high-end one that does plastic as well, because the cheaper ones only do some of the metals, they don't do the plastic. And sometimes you may need to check a bumper, because some of these paint jobs and some of these cars have the sensors behind the actual bumper now for this lane departure, and when there's a car coming up behind them, they have to make sure that they don't have too much paint on them. So also, remember back in the old days, they'd bring out the mill gauge when these old guys were going to buy their hot rods, because everybody was saying these cars were solid. But once you broke out the mill gauge, you started to see these guys change their tune. So definitely something good to have in the shop. I hope you guys got something out of this job, and we'll see you guys on the next one.